Creditors have a few different options to secure the repayment of unpaid debts. The first and the most simplest thing that they can do is to attempt to negotiate the repayment with the company. This is always going to be the simplest and the least expensive route to follow. If that's not successful, then they might consider taking steps to file a petition to wind up the company. Now, the advantage of this approach is that you can use it if you've got a certain sum of money which is due and there's no dispute in relation to the debt, then you can petition to wind up. The downside of this approach is that once you do take those steps, you will effectively rank equally with all of the other unsecured creditors in a winding up. So that means you'll be paid out pari passu out of the assets with the other creditors, so you won't necessarily secure as much of the repayment of your particular debt as you might if you took other options. So the alternative option is to file a commercial claim against the company for the recovery of the debt. At the end of that process, assuming that you're successful, you would have a judgment debt which is payable. And then that judgment debt allows you to take particular steps to enforce the repayment of the debt. And in that scenario, you're not competing against any other creditors. What type of enforcement steps you take really depends on the nature of the company and what assets it has. So for example, you might take steps to enforce against land which the company owns or other property. And in a worst case scenario, again, at the end of the process, if you still haven't recovered the whole of your debt which is paid, you might consider issuing a winding up petition.